Good evening, my friends. This is Paul, and tonight I'm finally going to be reviewing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch. Let me tell you, the cool thing about this game is all you have to really do is start saying the numbers, and then even people like my mom, who can hardly hold a controller, get excited for this game. You just say, okay, it's got 876 songs, 103 stages, 104 if you count the training stage, 74 characters, and 1,297 spirits, and counting. There's a lot of stuff to do, and it's probably going to take you a long time to do it. And that's not even counting player interactions to go along with all of this craziness. But Super Smash Bros. Has always been known for its content. So, you're probably asking, well, what makes this iteration ultimate? I don't think I need to tell you that this game is utterly amazing, and I would highly recommend it full price, however you can get it. Plus, the DLC is only $25 altogether if you get the Fighter's Pass. But we're not here to talk about the DLC, because this game's only been out for a little over a week as of the time of this recording. We're here to talk about the core gameplay. So first off, before I get into the meat of it, which in my opinion is the single-player content, let's talk about the main Smash mode, which is all the footage I'm going to be showing today because I really don't want to spoil anything for any of you. So, the game engine is much faster and more furious than any other Smash game except for Melee, because Melee was just insanely fast and no one wants to top that. I love the little touches that Sakurai and his team added, like the slow motion zooming in when you're about to get a dramatic kill, the radar that shows how far away you are from the screen's border, even rethinking how the items work, which mind you is probably the most tweaking to the item since, well, Melee itself. And it's really hard to explain if you're not actually playing the game, but everything just feels so much more satisfying. You feel like you earned it. When you get a reward in, say, any of the modes, you really feel like, wow, I put up an ultimate fight to get this far. And it's one of those you gotta feel it to believe it kind of deals. Not only that, but the game features 103 stages. Mind you, only 4 of them are brand new. But the way the stages have been tweaked to make it feel like all of them are brand new because of the way that the stages have been given a graphical makeover so that they look right at home on the Switch, because some of them haven't been around since 1999. And so it's great to see all these familiar stages, and seeing as there's so much variety, there's sure to be something for everyone. A stage that you hate may be a stage that I love. I mean, I've always been particularly fond of Fountain of Dreams, but I know some people in my family that say, that stage wasn't that great, Paul. Now, on to the mode that everyone has been speculating and decoding blurry images to figure out what is the big deal about it. The Spirits mode. Basically, this is a combination of classic mode and event mode from games past. There are specific characters from a variety of video game universes that have been turned into spirits, and your job is to fight the main fighter that's being possessed by the spirit. Now, there are a variety of ways to do spirit battles. There's a full-fledged adventure mode, which we'll get into there, but there's also the spirit board, where a number of eligible challengers will show up in sort of a, hey, here's who's coming list, and you're tasked with choosing specific event conditions in order to properly win the fight. And what I love about these spirit battles is that they do a wonderful job of recreating exactly how a fight against that character would be in the series of Origin. For example, when you're fighting Groose from The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, there's going to be a lot of bombs because Groose built the Groosinator in Skyward Sword. Or when you're fighting off against one of Mega Man's bosses, you're going to hear the respective remix. And you might also have, say, against Gutsman, you'll have a Mega Man character that loves throwing people, because Gutsman loves throwing boulders. Again, if you're not familiar with the franchise, you're probably going to be like, what the heck is going on here? But for those of you that are a super fanboy or fangirl about a particular series, you're going to love how it's represented. I love how even underdog franchises are shown here. Minish Cap, for example, has never been represented in any form in any Smash Bros. Game, even though it's been out since 2005. Wasn't even in the Chronicle in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. But yet, there's a Spirit of Ezlo. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle gets spirits, and that wasn't even published by Nintendo. Shantae gets a spirit. That was made by Way Forward, which I believe is an American company. They're just showing all oodles of oddities, and whoa, they're referencing that ancient Nintendo game? And it's absolutely mind-boggling how many ways they're able to come up with 1,297 of these, and mind you, the game's not even finished updating. Whew! And to think we haven't even touched on the adventure mode yet. So, the official name of the biggest single-player mode in this game is called World of Light, and it's the first time we've experienced a full-fledged story in a Smash Bros. Game since 2008's Subspace Emissary in Brawl. And I'm just going to state right off the bat, this doesn't even compare. The two are radically different, and there are likely going to be various opinions of which one is better. In my personal opinion, I like World of Light a heck of a lot better because it doesn't have that many cutscenes, but it makes up for it by having a lot of fun and variety. It has, again, more crazy Nintendo fan service, and it sort of has a Breath of the Wild feel as you traverse an overhead world map that's actually quite huge, a lot bigger than I thought it would be. And you do various Nintendo-related things to get through the world, be it solving a Zelda puzzle, or flying on a Star Fox R-Wing, or even traveling on a trip around the globe fighting against Street Fighter people. It's amazing how many ways the music and the settings and the fights are able to convey iconic moments in your favorite video game series, including even some of the Blight Ganon boss fights in Breath of the Wild. Even those are represented here, and it's amazing. Not only that, but with the spirits in the adventure mode combined, you get a good excuse to listen to this game's absolutely massive soundtrack when you might otherwise not have had a chance or not have been willing to give a song a listen. And you might be like, oh, I heard that in the adventure mode. That's cool. Let's add it to my playlist. So, as you can tell, World of Light is utterly amazing, and it features an absolutely spectacular finale that's among one of the best final encounters I've ever seen in a video game. However, I'd be lying if I said that was my favorite part of the game. Nope! For me, it all comes down to the game's absolutely wonderful, jaw-dropping, awesome soundtrack. There are 876 songs currently, and more to be added with DLC and possibly future patches. And the song selection is already massive from the get-go. You start out with 717 tracks in the base game, and all of the remixes are unlocked from the start. So all you really have to unlock are originals or remixes that were already in past Smash games, as well as all original tunes, such as the Final Battle tune. So as a result, you get to be like, whoa, so that's how Bowser's theme from Super Mario Bros. 3 sounds right off the bat. Not only that, but they have a massive collection of orchestra pieces. There are some lyrical songs, chiptunes, and overall the fan service is out the window. I mean, just the sheer size of the soundtrack alone should make everyone quit griping and say, you know what, Sakurai? I am satisfied with the amount of work you put into this game. Having this many songs in one game makes me feel like joking around with my sister where she says, well, Paul, I have 1,000 songs on my iPod. And I'm like, but do you have them all in one place? That's a different story. However, I'm going to gripe anyway because there were a couple of missed opportunities in the songs selection. First off, why do we still only have 2 Final Fantasy songs? The Fiat Rhythm Final Fantasy games on the 3DS alone had over 500. The 3DS, mind you, which has vastly less memory capacity than the Switch does. Also, why are there absolutely no new Kid Icarus songs? I mean, Sakurai directed Kid Icarus Uprising, so you think maybe at least one song would make the cut. Granted, the Kid Icarus songs that are here are of course all amazing, but all of them were already in Smash for 3DS and Wii U, so why couldn't there have been just one more even? Also, why didn't we get any Star Fox remixes? But in the end, those are just minor nitpicks in a soundtrack that honestly could be the best one ever made for a single video game. Granted, not all of them are perfect, but I think that's also the point, is Sakurai wanted to appeal to a wide variety of musical listeners. You've got people that would otherwise never listen to video game music that might really love something in this game. I might not like the remix of Personal Trainer Cooking that sounds like some guy is trying to learn English, but you might. So you might be like, yay, thanks for bringing it back. And I might be like, why didn't you just stay in Brawl? And that's the beauty of it, is only 20 some odd songs were cut from the entire series. They even brought back songs from the original Super Smash Bros. On the Nintendo 64, songs that you didn't think needed to return, but yet they did just because they could. And I think that sums up Super Smash Bros. Ultimate really nicely. A lot of things are done just because they can. And normally people complain when something is done without the fans asking for it, but Super Smash Bros. Ultimate manages to work out that fine medium of what the fans want versus also what the fans didn't know that they wanted until after they saw it in action. For example, there's not too many new fighters compared to what you'd expect from a Smash Bros. Games, but the ones that are here were heavily requested, like Chrom, King K. Rool, and my personal favorite of the newcomers, the Inklings. I really love how strategic they make the game and how the ink dynamic really makes you stop and be like, okay, micromanaging in a Smash Bros. Game. This is a heck of a lot better than what they did with Olimar in Brawl, although he's still there as well. Everyone is here, for better or for worse. As much as I hate Pichu, Pichu's still here. And all of the characters have been given vast improvements to their engine. Mind you, some of them have not been around since Melee, so they've had to be tweaked so that they can keep up with the likes of the newcomers. Every single fighter, as a result, feels fresh, and they feel like they could be evenly matched against each other. And because of that, the game has various options that allow you to tweak the fighter settings. So, say if you're not as good as someone, you can give yourself a handicap or an underdog boost. Say you and your buddy can't decide on which stage you want to play as. Well, just do the new stage morph option where the stages switch from one to another periodically depending on what you set the settings to. Do you want to play an 8-player Smash, but are like, well, I don't know, they kind of restricted it in Smash for Wii U. Well, guess what? Every single stage accommodates for 8-player this time around. With some stages even increasing in size so that it can support 8 players. It's absolutely amazing how only 16 stages, or was it 15? It's hard to keep track of because of the way videos on YouTube explain it. But yeah, most of the stages are here and they look absolutely gorgeous. This Fountain of Dreams stage looks like how I remember it, but yet at the same time looks leagues better than it did in Melee. And it's especially pleasing to see the 3DS stages, of which only 2 managed to not make the cut into this game, in HD and on the big screen for the first time, and they look amazing. As I said, everything looks like it falls in place. There's this unified art style that means the likes of someone realistic like Solid Snake and someone like the Inklings can coexist in the same universe and they can still work together. Now, you probably know by now that I'm not that kind of guy that wants to incessantly praise a game without realizing, okay, even if this game's 10 out of 10 caliber, it's still going to have flaws, and this game is no exception. Although, I'm going to say that unlike games that I've reviewed in the past, like Breath of the Wild, where the flaws were pretty darn big and people just decided to overlook them, most of the stuff in here is just, I'm a grumpy Smash player and occasionally I want more out of my games. But I'm going to say a few and then make an entire video explaining where this game did have missteps later. One of them is that I'm kind of bummed that some character costumes got more effort than others. Like Link, you've got a whole bunch of different references to Zelda games in his costumes, and even some with or without a hat. But then Yoshi's, it's like, well, yeah, multicolored Yoshis can only take you so far. Although at least they've been the Yoshi from Yoshi's Crafted World, which, mind you, hasn't even been released in North America yet as of the time of this recording. Also, why is Starfy still in here as an assist trophy? No one likes that guy. In fact, he was the only assist trophy in Brawl that could be KO'd. I mean, is he even useful at all besides possibly some fan service? Who knows? With that, I can't really find too much to complain about, because even if I want to say something negative about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, in the grand scheme of things, this is a masterful achievement to be put on a tiny itty-bitty game card that's barely bigger than an SD card. The amount of variety here is simply staggering and huge and impressive. And I think Sakurai deserves a huge, rousing round of applause for all that he's managed to squeeze into this massive fun fest of Nintendo and occasionally third-party glory. With that, thank you very much for watching and listening. Stay tuned for more Smash goodness as the months, maybe even years go by as the DLC comes out. And if there's anything I missed in this review, please leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts on the game, as well as what music track is your favorite, because you may have noticed I purposely muted the sound so I could show you guys some of my favorite songs. So with that, again, thank you very much. Every view counts on this channel for me, even if you don't watch it all the way through. And until the next time, keep the faith, stay epic, God bless, and don't get caught in the Inkling's paint roller or you'll be buried in the ground. Bye!